session, and let's begin this class of your paper 2 of the JAIIB, which is accounting and finance for bankers. And this is a very important subject, as you guys already know that. Okay, so before to begin this session, I would like to say, if you have not downloaded the Adda 247 application, download and subscribe the Officers Adda 247 YouTube channel so that you can get regular update from our side. So let's start today's class. And before one update also from our side, because our target batch is going to start, and this is a very correct opportunity, because you are going to get 3 books of the Macmillan in this by enrolling in this batch. You are going to get 84 mock tests, you are going to get 82 ebooks, as well as a 130 hours live classes where you can directly interact with us. And okay, and whatever we are going to teach you, that all would be fully exam oriented class. Okay, so you just have to enroll in this batch for clearing your examination, if you just want to clear your examination with not only the 50 marks but also with a very good score like 80 plus 90 plus marks. Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone just understand the features of this this target batch, and all the batches that is actually running on the Adda 247 store. Okay, so your PPB class is going to start from the 18th of April, while your AP class is just going to start from the 16th of April. Okay, so time is a very less. Just hurry up and just grab this opportunity, right? So let's start today's session, and let's start with the question number first. And I would like to say, just use a pen and paper, and if you're finding anything is important, just pen down that. And one more thing, just use a calculator while you are just facing any numerical. Just first just do by your side. Okay, after that I will explain everything here. So let's do it. The first question, and tell me what would be the answer of this. This question is from the chapter of the bill of exchange that we actually learned, right? So in the bill of exchange, what we learned that in bill of exchange there are actually 3 parties involved. One party, which name is Doer, actually known as a maker of the bill of exchange. After that, second party, which is known as a Doi, who just accept the bill of exchange. It is also just known as the acceptor. And the another party, that is the payee. Payee is nothing but if Doer just endorse another person to accept the cash, to accept the payment, then this party is known as a payee. Okay, so if a debtor, and this pay actually the endorsement, like endorsement is done by the Doer in the name of this pay. Okay, so this is all about the bill of exchange, and you are going to get the questions in the examination, where you can get the questions in the 2 marks, and that questions of your like how to make the debit and credit transactions. Okay, so that is a very important chapter for your for your accounting subject. So you have to understand that bill of exchange is a very good and important chapter for your this subject. Okay, so when the doi of a bill makes payment of the bill, doi, what we understand by the doi, who actually accept the bill. Okay, Doer actually make the bill of exchange, because you can understand like Doer just need the money. For that, just Doer just make the bill of exchange, Doi accept the bill of exchange, so it is also known as the acceptor, right? Okay, so he is actually understandable as a maker, he is actually understandable as an acceptor. So whenever the Doi of a bill makes payment of the bill on the due date. Okay, so whenever we're talking about the due date, you always have to understand that in the bill of exchange, actually the 3 days of the grace period also be added on into the due date. Okay, so this is a very important thing, and based on that we actually did a question in the previous class, right? So when the doi of a bill makes payment of the bill on the due date, the bill is treated, very nice, very correct answer given by everyone, that is honored. Okay, so this is a very important question, like whenever the doi of a bill makes payment of the bill on the due date, then this bill is treated as a honored. The correct answer, that would be the C. Okay, next question. Next question, keeping a log of financial information in the books of the original entries is called. Okay, so accounting, whenever when you are just going to understand, like there are basically 4 phases of the accounting you are going to understand. The first phase, that is known as the recording. The second phase, that is known as the classifying. The third phase, that is known as the summarizing. Okay, and the another phase that is also important, that is your interpreting. Okay, so there are basically four phases of the accounting, but according to your syllabus, there are only three phases that are most important, and you should just understand what things we actually keep, what things we have to understand in the recording phase, in the classifying phase, in the summarizing phase. These are actually known as the accounting phases, right? So in the recording, what we actually do, we actually just record all the financial transactions, all the financial informations. Okay, and after that, as usual, suppose that there are some entries of the cash, there are some entries in the name of any person, suppose that Mr. A. Okay, so we have to just group that, like grouping, sorting, like in the groups. Okay, so that is a process of the classifying. Okay, and after that, summarizing, that is after the classifying stage, classifying phase, that is summarizing phase, and after that, interpreting, that is a critical tool for the decision making. Okay, so recording, classifying, summarizing, interpreting. So keeping a log of financial information, the correct answer, that would be your recording. That is a very important. You should keep it simple, everything, like whatever I'm just going to convey you only have to understand that. And if you finding anything is important, just pause the video and just pen down that. Okay, so keeping a log of financial information, there are basically four phases you have to understand: recording, classifying, summarizing, interpreting. And in the recording, that is a very basic thing to understand. The very first thing what you do, the very first thing, that you record every transaction. Suppose that you taken the cash from like Mr. A, you taken the cash from B, cash from the B. Okay, and you taken the cash from the C. So there are multiple cash you are just receiving. Okay, so what you exactly do in the next phase, that is classifying phase. You actually make a separate account, that is a cash account, and whatever the account, whatever the amount you are going to receive from another person's, like, so that you already mentioned in this cash account. Okay, that's it, that is a classifying phase. And after that, summarizing and interpreting phase, that you are going to understand. So the correct answer, that is the recording. Next question: are assets debited or credited when they increase? Okay, that is a very important question. Are assets, okay, so what we understand by the assets actually? Anybody can tell me what we understand by the assets? Assets actually increase the value of our business. Okay, so when we say that like cash is also the asset of our business, account receivables also the asset, inventory you can also understand as a stock, that is also our asset, right? Cash, account receivable, inventory, okay, machinery, that is also our asset. If I say that is vehicle for business purpose, so that is also our asset. Okay, so that are the different cases of the asset. So what you exactly do, whenever we are talking about the assets, what the golden rule of the accounting says for the asset, assets actually comes in the category of the real account, right? So assets we actually keep under the real account category, and the for the real account category, golden rule of the accounting says debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So whatever is just coming in, just you have to debit that. And now just tell me, this is a very important thing to understand. If you're understanding with a very basic concept, then look, everything is going to be very simple, right? So whenever we're talking about like assets comes under the real account category, and for the real account category, golden rules of the accounting says debit what comes in and credit what goes out. That means whatever is just coming into our business, that means we have to debit that, right? So suppose that, for example, if I'm going to say cash is coming into your business, right? So cash is just coming into your business. That means the value of the cash, or say the amount of your cash is just increasing of your business. So that's the question. And are assets debited or credited when they increase? So now just tell me what would be happen. Definitely the answer, that would be the debited. Look how simply we can just solve. And just look, you have to solve every question with your concept. Okay, then there are so many questions in the examination, and that all would be cake work for you if you're just going to do with the concept, with your concept, right? So that is a very important thing. So what exactly we have to understand. So whenever like any asset is just coming into a business, that we have to debit. That means assets when assets debited when they increase. Okay, so the correct answer, that is debited. Right? I'm hoping that everyone just understand this. Now the next question, that is double entry implies. For enrollment in the target batch, just do not forget to apply the code Y422, and with this code you are going to get a maximum discount. Okay, and I think you should just enroll in a target batch, because this is your exam is just only 30 to 40 days left, and this is the very correct time when you should just start your preparation, as well as just gear up your preparation. Okay. So double entry, what implies actually whenever we are talking about the double entry? So actually what it implies. So look, double entry actually implies the what we understand in the double entry bookkeeping system. Okay, in the double entry bookkeeping system, we actually understand that debit and credit transactions, like each transactions has a, or say each transaction just affect the two accounts. That is a very important thing you have to understand. Each transactions affect two account, and based on that you are going to get a questions in the examination, like each transaction just affect the two accounts, and one account should be debited and another account that should be the credited, right? So now just tell me what would be the answer of this. Like double entry implies, definitely double entry implies recording two aspects of every transactions. That is the correct answer of this. Okay, so double entry implies recording two aspects of every transactions, and two aspects what? Two aspects. One aspect is a debit and another aspect that is a credit. That is a very important thing you have to understand, right? Understandable for everyone. Next question. Which of the following errors affects the trial balance? Just read the all the options, and after that I will tell you that what would be the answer of this. So, which of the following errors affects the trial balance? Look, whatever the multiple options given here, that is error in posting to correct account but wrong amount. Okay, wrong recording in the books of the original entry. Complete omission from posting, errors of posting to the wrong account but on the correct side. Look, whenever we are talking about the trial balance, okay, so what do we understand by the trial balance? Just try to understand. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the trial balance, we have to understand that in the trial balance, debit balance should be equal to the credit balance, right? That we understand about the trial balance. The another thing that we have to understand. Now just read the question. Question is error in posting to a correct account but wrong amount. Now just tell me, that is a question that error in posting to the correct account. That means suppose that we are talking about the cash account. Okay. So suppose that cash account we entered on the debit side, because this is the asset of our business, and assets we keep on the debit side of the trial balance, right? So cash we actually keep on the just let this is your debit side and this is your credit side, and suppose that we are talking about the cash, and this is your cash account. Suppose that any entry we have to post in the correct account, and we know that, also know that that debit balance should be equal to the credit balance, right? So if we are talking about like error in posting to the correct account, that means we have to post into the cash account but actually we posted in the wrong amount. Okay, so that means in this we have to post the 3000 rupees into the cash account. Okay, 3000 rupees into cash account, but by mistake we actually posted the 2000 rupees. So that actually, that actually make difference in the debit and credit balance, isn't it? Are you getting my point or not? Just understand with a very with a very good way. Okay, just understand, just try to understand that. Look, suppose that we have to post in the cash account. Okay, so if you're talking about like we have to post like 2000 rupees, we have to post into the cash account, but by mistake we actually posted the 1000 rupees. So if we posted the 1000 rupees here, that means this make difference between the debit and credit balance by what amount? By 1000 rupees. So what is your question? Question is, which of the following errors affect the trial balance? So this error definitely affect the trial balance, isn't it? Okay, now, so that would be your correct answer. That is error in posting to the correct account but wrong amount. Okay, so now just read another option. Just try to understand here. That is wrong recording in the books of original entry. That means what we first do. We first make the journal. After that, then we post it into the laser. After that, we make the trial balance, right? So that is the question. That is just a statement of the wrong recording. Actually, you have done wrong recording in the books of the original entry. That is also understandable as you actually posted wrong entry in the journal. Okay, so that will not affect the trial balance because you actually posted that into the laser, right? Complete omission from posting. What it means, that means you completely forget to record a transaction. Suppose that any transaction just affect the two transactions, two accounts, that is one is debit, another one that is credit, and if you just forget to record any transactions, that means there is no effect, there is no will be effect on the debit and credit side, because you already forget both sides of the entry, the like that is debit as well as a credit. Suppose that you forget a 3000 rupees transactions. Okay, so that means 3000 rupees should be debited as well as 3000 rupees should be credited, and both things you actually forget, right? So that is actually will not affect the trial balance. Fourth is error of posting to the wrong account but on the correct side. That means if you have to debit, then you actually debited that account, but you by mistake you actually posting into the wrong account. That also will not affect the trial balance. The only thing that will affect, that is error in posting to the correct account but wrong amount. That will just that will just make the difference in the like total of the debit as well as the total of the credit. I am hoping that everyone just understand this. This is a very important and this is a very good concept to understand, because based on that you are going to get multiple questions in the examination, right? Next question. Just do it by your side, and after that I will tell you what will be the answer of this question. First, try to solve by your side. This is a very good question. Like, which of the following items is not shown on the debit side of the trial balance? So just tell me what would be the answer of this question. Look, whenever we are talking about like trial balance, right? So like I already explained that the on the debit side we actually keep the assets, expenses, right? Assets, expenses we keep on the debit side, while all the liabilities, revenue, gains, that we keep on the credit side. So which of the following item is not shown on the debit column of the trial balance? If I'm saying that opening stock is what? Opening stock is your asset. So that would be your on debit side, right? Purchase is a kind of the expense, right? So that is also would be on the debit side. Debtors what? Debtors, that means that is your debtors. Okay, so that means from that you have to take the money. That means that is also understandable as your assets. So what like which of the following item is not shown on the debit column of the trial balance? So the correct answer, that is the liabilities you actually put into the credit side of the trial balance. That is a very important thing that you have to understand, right? So the correct answer, that would be the liabilities. Next question. Next question is a chapter from the chapter of the bank reconciliation statement, and is a very important chapter. Okay, so whenever you have to understand, whenever you are going to get a question that is related to bank reconciliation statement, the only thing you have to understand, that if the passbook balance is given, so just write here cash book balance, and the second step just here cash book and the passbook. And if you return here cash book, then just encircle here cash book as well as here cash book. That's it. Okay. Now the question is, there is a 1 lakh rupees. There is a 1 lakh rupees as per the bank passbook. So just write here 1 lakh rupees, right? And now just read the situation. Now just read the sentence here. A check is issued but not paid by the bank for 20,000 rupees. That means you issued the check. Okay. So you issued the check. That means a customer is actually issued the check. So if the customer is issuing the check to its any borrower, to its any customer, right? Or say to its creditor. Okay. So like a check is issued but not paid. So customer is actually issued a check to its creditor from actually he taken the loan, or say he taken the goods on the credit. So he just have to provide the fund here. So suppose that a check is issued but not paid by the bank for 20,000 rupees, right? So the question is, that is check is issued for the 20,000 rupees here. Okay. But it is not it is not paid by the bank. Maybe the reason that it is not cleared, maybe the reason that it is not presented. Okay, so that means in the bank statement that would reflecting as a zero. It is correct or not? Suppose that you issued the check but it is not presented at the bank, or to whom you actually issued the check, that customer is not presented at the bank, or maybe that one more reason that the check is not cleared. So that means in that scenario, that amount would be equal to your zero. Okay, in your bank statement. This is also understandable as a bank statement. So now you have to compare, right? Okay, so you have to compare that cash book balance is lesser than or more than the passbook balance. So your answer would be, that is cash book balance is lesser than the passbook balance. And if it is lesser than, then you just have to write down this figure with the negative, and with the negative figure, and by what amount, that is 20,000 rupees. Okay, so in the cash book, what shall be the balance currently in the cash book? So the answer that would be the 80,000 rupees. That would be your answer. Okay, so the correct answer, very nice attempt by everyone, that is 80,000 rupees would be your answer of this question. Okay, so this is how we actually solve the questions in the examination, right? Next question. It is very obvious. I think we actually did question number 6 like this. Okay. Okay. So which of the following will appear it on the credit column of the trial balance? This is something twist in this question, because multiple options given here. So you have to tell here what would be the answer of this. One more option you have to add. Not just first tell me what would be the answer of this. Like I explained you, that on the debit side we actually keep all the assets, all the expenses on the debit side, right? And on the credit side we actually keep revenue, liabilities, gains, right? So the correct answer, that should be your liability as well as the revenue. So just add one more option, that is A and B. Okay, and same way you are going to get questions in the examination. The same way you are going to get, like these type of the questions actually asked in the examination. So you have to know that what component we actually keep on the debit side and what components we actually keep on the credit side, right? So I think it is clear for everyone that which of the following will appear on the credit column of the trial balance. So liability and revenue, that would be mentioned into your credit side. Okay, hoping that understandable for everyone. So the correct answer, that would be both A and B. Amount paid for next question is amount paid for acquiring goodwill. Amount paid for acquiring goodwill is an example of, right? So what we understand by the goodwill. Goodwill actually understandable as your intangible assets. Take it. All right. So goodwill is actually understandable as your intangible asset of your business. And one more important thing, that goodwill is also understand as the capital assets of your business. That is a very important thing you have to understand, because it increases the value of your company, value of your capital, value of your company's capital. Okay, so it is considered as the, whenever you are just going to understand about the goodwill, you have to understand goodwill. The very first thing, that goodwill is the intangible asset of the company, as well as goodwill is the capital asset. Goodwill is considered as a capital asset, and whenever you are just incurring any type of the expenses for acquiring the goodwill, that is understandable as the capital expenditure. Look how simple you can understand this. So look, capital expenditure, because goodwill is considered as a capital asset of your business, and goodwill is also considered as the intangible asset. So you have to understand, this is a very important thing to for the examination. So first thing, that amount paid for acquiring goodwill is an example of that is capital expenditure, and it is considered as a capital asset. Okay. Now the next question. The bill of exchange which is drawn without any consideration is called. That is also very important thing to understand. That is a very important to understand. Just tell me what would be the answer of this, and after that I will tell you the correct answer of this. Look, whenever we are talking about the bill of exchange which is drawn without any consideration is called. So these type of the bills, the correct answer, the correct answer of this, that is accommodation bill. And the feature of this, like, it is not enforceably by the law. That means that if the door that means door cannot force to draw to make the payment. Okay, so because it is not enforceable by the law, so the correct answer of this accommodation bill, that would be the correct answer of this question. So the bill of exchange which is drawn without any consideration is called the accommodation bill. I am hoping that everyone just understand this. And one more important thing that you have to understand, with the accommodation bill, there is no consideration of the, like, it is when we talking about, when we talking about like DOR just make the bill and DOI just accept the bill, so that is also understandable as the acceptance of the debt. But in this bill, that is not considered as the no acceptance of the debt. Okay, so this is just a casual type of the bill of exchange. So you only have to understand. So the bill of exchange which is drawn without any consideration is called, that is accommodation bill. I am hoping that everyone just understand this. So now just tell me how many marks you guys just get out of the 10. I just want to see that how much everyone just got the marks out of the 10, because the type of the question we actually keep, that is moderate level. So if you're just getting 8 to 9 marks, okay, and anyone just receiving the 10 marks, so this is a very very nice attempt. And if you're getting the 8 to 9 marks, so that's also very nice. Okay, so okay, so one more time, I would like to say, our target batch is just going to start. So just hurry up, and from 16th of April, we are just going to take the class of and your first class is going to start from 16th of April. The first class will be of your AFP. Okay, so do not miss this opportunity. Just apply the code Y422 and you are going to get the big discount on this batch. Okay, so if you're liking our effort, liking our content, do not forget to hit the like button. Do not forget to share this video to your friends, to your colleagues, so that maximum number of our friends can join with us. So thanks for joining me here. Thanks for just attending this class. A very very thank you for everyone.